Yes, it is Halloween, and Tottenham fans are waking up to the realisation that they were certainly tricked yesterday by Manchester United. We had Premier League wins for Arsenal, Burnley, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Southampton, and of course Manchester United. Defeats then for Leicester, Brentford, Manchester City, Newcastle, Watford and Tottenham, and also a share of the spoils for Liverpool and Brighton. We're going to review all the hot topics from the key matches in the next 3 hours here on the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT.
The Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT.
Cass, good morning.
Good morning,
How
Natalie.
are you?
Yeah, really good.
What a Saturday of some unexpected results, I have to say. But we're going to start with the big game, the final game yesterday, which was live on talkSPORT, coming from the the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, between Tottenham and Manchester United. All the talk and all the build-up, really, to this one, Cass, focused on the visitors. But today we're all talking about the home side and what an abject performance it was.
Yeah,
from Spurs.
and we're doing a section later, aren't we, on Spurs and Harry and a lot of conversation that it's not good. Lots of the goals that went in through the heart of their defence. The third goal by Rashford. That can't happen as easy as that. I've seen Davinson Sanchez, who obviously hadn't played yesterday, but I've seen that type of goal when he's played. Eric Dyer, same vein. When defenders are running back to their own goal, chasing players. That happens far too often at Spurs. They're a lazy team, Nat. They're a lazy team. And it was built on, by Poch, of having a lot of energy, a lot of dynamism. It's a lazy team now.
When you say lazy, explain what you mean exactly, because obviously a lot of people will be listening in thinking, well, how can a team be lazy? If you're putting 11 players out there, they have to perform in some way.
Well, I say it because I think there's too many players, and Kane's definitely one of them at the moment, who are not putting in shifts for their teammates, and there's all over the pitch it's happening where they're not quite getting there. I mean, I haven't seen the running stats, but I'm pretty sure it'd be pretty bad compared to other teams in the Premier League.
Well, looking at the stats in general for the season, and obviously there are some games to come still this weekend for today and tomorrow, Tottenham so far bottom when it comes to distance covered.
Don't surprise me. I didn't know that. It doesn't surprise me because I think, look, the midfielders don't travel long stretches of the pitch, do they? They don't really have a midfield runner because they didn't play Ndombele, but they don't, Højbjerg and Skip are pretty central and stay pretty fixed positions. Their fullbacks stayed yesterday because they were obviously conscious of being countered by Manchester United. So obviously both sides, Royale didn't get particularly forward, nor did Ben Davies, and that doesn't come with creating chances. I think you could probably say Heung-min Son have run the most out of all the forwards, but they feel like a lazy team to me. Now, you could make the point of, well, it's the manager, the way he sets them up, and I think he has tried to structure them where they don't give much away, but they also don't offer very much going the other way in forward positions. I mean, you can't play at the London Stadium and have no shots on target now. You can't. We've sat on the show numerous times and talked about Norwich not creating. Well, if you don't create, and many times we've had the conversation of bodies in the 18-yard box. You've got to get bodies in danger areas to cause problems, makes defenders think of things to do. Can I pick him up? Do I need to go somewhere else? I think they lack in all them qualities to be a successful side.
It's interesting when you mention chances created, because so far from their 10 games, they've created 71, which is the second worst in the Premier League.
Again, doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise you, but it shouldn't be that case when you look at some of that attacking talent.
No, well, I've always...
Squad.
How many times we talked about, we look at the points total, but some of the telling things you can say is goals for column and goals against column. That'll tell you a lot without really, having to go to the real deeper stuff, which is, analysts look at football clubs and what they do and don't do. Tottenham fall short in most areas. If you look at their goals for column, it's really low for a club of that ilk. It's a big football club. To only have 9 Premier League goals in 10 games?
Yes, so it's only ridiculous. Norwich and Leeds that have scored less.
And Leeds could surpass them today if they win. They win 2-1, or they could surpass them with goals for. So they could be literally just in front of Norwich, who have been absolutely desperate in front of goal.
Well, talking of desperation, then the fans are certainly desperate with regards to Tottenham because they are frustrated at what they are seeing. We heard the boos ring out then at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The fans not afraid to show their frustration towards the team and the manager Nuno Espirito Santo. And when you look at the start they made to the season, okay, they got off to an unbeaten start. Conservative, let's say, with their results because it was only like 1-0 wins.
1-0, yeah.
But those wins now have completely disappeared. It's a very lacklustre Spurs that we are seeing. How much do we lay the blame at Nuno Espirito Santo for the tactics and the way that they're set up, for example? How much do we put the blame on him right now for what we're seeing?
Part of it is the manager, without a doubt, because they are a conservative team. They are trying. Look, they've had a few hammerings as well. You know, the one they got at the Emirates against Arsenal, okay, it was 3-1, but it could have been a lot worse. They've had Crystal Palace away 3-0. They had yesterday 3-0. You know, they've been on the receiving end of some bad results with their performance. Nuno went from a Wolves manager that took a team from the Championship, exciting, adventurous, brave, and changed at Wolves. That changed. And you could argue, well, he lost Jimenez along the way and he lost Jota, but they still had something about them. And midfield players would score goals. You look at Neves in midfield, Moutinho. They could create and make things happen. Dendoncker. They had players that could score goals. But they didn't. At the end of last season, they were becoming everything but that. They'd gone quite redundant in the goal-scoring charts. So I think Nuno has to take responsibility for the way they play. It's a difficult one. That the bigger problem, I think, is totally upstairs. I think the chairman is a problem. Everyone keeps telling me he's a fantastic negotiator, hardline. Well, I don't see that many great deals on players with transfers. I see a lot of players who with big expectations who fall short. And he has to take responsibility. He was a man that sacked a manager, whether you agree with it or not, with Mourinho before the League Cup final. I've done some really strange things as a chairman. And I think a lot of the frustration from Spurs fans will go straight to Daniel because he's not being a great negotiator. Sometimes when you negotiate with other people, they are hard negotiators as well. They don't just say, yes, it's Daniel, I can't. Oh, he's too tough for me. I'm not going to deal with him. Sometimes they go, tell you what, you might be tough, but we're tough as well. That's what Man City did to Daniel Levy. You know, he tried to lay the line in the sand, that.
You can also say that he's such a tough negotiator, let's say, as you've pointed out. I mean, look at Nuno Espirito Santo. He wasn't their first choice, wasn't their second choice, probably wasn't their third or fourth. He was their last choice, their only choice, it seemed, at the end of the day. And you have to wonder why they have got into that situation where a lot of managers didn't want to manage Tottenham. And as you say, that's probably because of the person upstairs, Daniel Levy. Maybe they don't want to work with Daniel Levy, or maybe Daniel Levy, when they have conversations with him, it just doesn't go the way that a manager wants it to go.
Yeah, well, we had Harry Redknapp on yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
He spoke, and he said, Daniel Levy makes all the decisions. It's Daniel, Well, Daniel sacked Jose and then put, a young man in charge. Ryan Mason was the manager of Tottenham. And that's nothing against Ryan. He's been given a spot as manager of Tottenham to the end of the season, and then they don't have nothing in place. And then they go searching for a top manager. Daniel Levy's got a lot to answer for at Spurs, I feel. I don't know him. I just think a lot of things he does, I don't think it's the right decisions for a very big football club.